Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. I'd like everyone to stand, please. And I'm going to start out with an invocation, a little bit different type of invocation. What I'd like to do is to read the mission statement. And I'm doing this so that we can contemplate our mission here personally and our mission to our community and to the companies. So here's the mission statement. To balance the needs of consumers and utilities while providing for a sustainable future by assuring that consumers have reliable, high-quality water and wastewater disposal at the lowest feasible price, while assuring that utilities have an opportunity to earn an adequate return on their prudent investments consistent with their quality of service, while assuring that the actions undertaken and supported by the office are in full compliance with applicable codes and standards, particularly those aimed at protecting the general health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, as well as those that preserve the environmental aspects of Citrus County. So it's something for us to contemplate, something for us to consider in our meeting today and after we leave here today. Thank you for your thoughts. I'd like next to go ahead with a Pledge of Allegiance. Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. I'd like to introduce everyone our new, assistant administrator, Cecilia Bohm. What's your official title, Cecilia?
Well, I am the executive assistant for Office of Utility Regulation.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Cecilia, could you please do the roll call for us?
Sure. Bob Miller,
Present.
William Bozeman,
Present.
Scott Baldwin,
Here.
Robert Haver,
Here.
William Reese,
Here.
Steve Howard,
Here.
Denise A. Diamondin,
Yes, ma'am.
Charles Howard,
Here.
and we are just missing Miss Jeannie McIntosh.
I'm assuming we have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our next item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additional additions or deletions to the agenda that is in our packet that is immediately following the first three blue sheets?
There are three items. D1, Terra Woods Utilities LLC water tariff sheets. D2, Dunellen Hills Water System, Forest Hills Water System, La Prima Water, Lucky Hills Water System, Meadowwood Water, Pinewood Water, and Springhorn Water tariff sheets are included. And D3, Indian Springs Utilities water tariff sheets, and that concludes any additional items.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard, and those are indicated for the members of the three blue sheets, D1, D2, and D3, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So I ask for a motion for the approval of today's agenda.
So moved.
And I ask for a second.
Second.
Robert, second. Any further discussion? All in favor of acceptance today's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. The next item is item B, which is open to the public. So we have John?
Yeah.
John, you can go ahead and come forward. Identify yourself, please.
Thank you. For the record, John Thrumston, Terrawood Utilities. I just want to get up and say thank you to Mr. Howard, Mrs. Lynn, Mr. Howard, and welcome Cecilia aboard. As you all well know, we've been without a rudder for a long time with the regulatory board, And I know in the beginning it's a little rough. You know, we're not used to some of the new things that are being done and some of the new regulations that we have to comply with, but we're working through them. We're working through them with Cecilia and Chuck, and I have nothing but good things, I think, to come with the Regulatory Authority and Cecilia. And I want to thank you guys for your service, for what y'all do for all of us in our utilities. And I appreciate you talking about the mission statement, because we've been at this a long time, and it is fair to us and the ratepayers to make sure that everything is seen across the board. So that's all I wanted to say. Good luck to you guys, and let's do some good things to come. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Marshall and Kim, do you have anything to say so far?
We'll talk about the price indexes. Then,
Okay, well, we'll give you opportunity then. Thank you. And thanks for attending, all three of you. Thank you for attending this meeting. Okay, that closes the session for the public. I'd like to go ahead and go to item C now on our agenda. C1 is the minutes of the meeting on May 8th, 23. I'd like to ask the members of the board to please go ahead and, if you haven't already, review the minutes. And they're immediately following the agenda. You should have received copies of this in your packets ahead of time, as well as is in the packets today. Okay, let's go to Cecilia. Help me where those minutes are located in your packet.
It's gonna be on C1. The tab says C1.
Okay, thank you. Ah, yes, there they are, C1. Okay, so if the members would go to C1, that is a copy of the minutes. And I think the most important part of the whole minutes, I just want to call the attention, is on page 6 of 109, bottom right, page 6 of 109. I'll wait till everybody finds that. C1 would be on the second page. It's actually page 2 of 2, but it's also 6 of 109. Here comes Jeannie. If you look at item D, you'll see the very first sentence is that this year's index is 7.07%. That's an important number that everyone should be aware of. That is the approved basic year's index. What that means is that that is the maximum amount that's approved by default of any entity that wishes a rate increase. If they go above that, then they have to go through an approval process. But if it's less than or equal to that amount, then we should be able to accommodate them. Is there any questions or discussions about what was just?
Sorry, my husband drove me in, that's why.
I'd like Cecilia to call, to make a note that Janine has just arrived. She's so.
Jeannie, yeah.
Jeannie
Yes, sir.
has just arrived, and mark her as present, please, okay.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion at all? Okay, I'm gonna ask for a motion to accept the minutes of May 8th, 2023.
I'll make a motion.
Robert
Yes.
makes a motion. Can I have someone to second it?
Second.
Okay, William? William second.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll second something else.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. So now we're gonna move on to item D. This is items requiring action by the authority, and these are our price index increases, consideration, applications. So we're gonna go to section D1. Now keep in mind that section D1 includes the supplement or the addendum. That's the blue page in your booklet. Plus, you go to the orange D in your packet and you go to D1 as well. So we have two documents to refer to. You have received all of these. You received the blue packets by email in advance, and you received the hard copies by mail. so if you hadn't had a chance to read those and review them, this is an application for the Terrawood Utilities. John is here representing Terrawood. And if you take a look toward the bottom on page D1, I'll read the recommended action. John, would you like?
No, I'm just here to answer any questions.
Oh, okay.
If they have
okay.
questions.
Let me read through this
Okay.
first. No, you stay there, John. Just sit there. The recommended action is to approve and authorize the chairman to sign final order 23-02 approving the 2023 price index pass-through of $3,206.82 for water and $2,599.61 for wastewater. Total annual revenue for the Terrawood Utilities. That is the recommendation. I'm going to ask the members of the board for any comments, questions regarding this recommendation. Janine?
John, would you just say the streets that are around Terrawood? So I know it's near
There's
where I
Drew
am.
Bryant Circle,
Okay.
there's Cassidy Loop. Those are and there's
Did they come out on 491 or
no,
486?
this is on 41 in Floral City.
Oh. Okay.
So it comes off, is Drew Bryant Circle is the main one, and then we have East Cassidy Loop that loops inside. The rest of the subdivision is still not developed yet. I don't know the names of those streets, but
Okay.
we're talking about, I think there's 86 homes in there now. So we are getting a few more. I think we started out at like 50 something, so
Oh, yeah.
we're getting better for sure.
Well, we want to grow, but not too fast.
So, John, I have a question. Does these rates include your bulk water sales as well?
No, the bulk water rates are separate from these rates.
So it's
we're
not
not
included in this
asking
package
for
at all?
anything on the bulk side, and we're not asking for anything on the service availability fees either. This
So
is just
those
the
rates are going to stay the same.
Yeah, this is just the actual cost of the operations of the utility for the main residents. The bulk water we haven't sold anything in the bulk water sales, so we're not gonna mess with that or the service availability stuff. We're just gonna leave those as they are. Now, in a couple weeks, you're gonna see where we're coming back with asking for an increase in our connection fees for water because everything has gone high and we've been running on pricing from 10 years ago.
Sure, I was
So,
just going to ask you about that, the connection fees.
yeah, on the meters, that's what we're asking for an increase on that, but you'll see that in a couple weeks.
Are you running on Wi-Fi connection to your meters, or
No.
it's all manual reading?
Yeah, it's all I looked into doing that, but the cost of doing that is just so exorbitant. I pay $150 to have someone read the meters now, and if to upgrade those meters and to do that, we're looking at $40,000 or $50,000 by the time we're done. Because you have to have Wi-Fi things and in the ground, and then each meter has to be replaced, and it's a real big expense. They typically don't get into that until they get into like 2,500 meters, 2,000, 2,500.
Floral City Water has wireless connection to all their meters. I think they have 2,200 customers.
Yeah, that's when it makes sense, but anything less than that, to change everything over is such an exorbitant amount. I'd have to come in and ask you for an increase, to be able to cover that, and it's just not feasible for those people.
One of the benefits of a wireless monitoring of the meters is that it's excellent for leak detection. And I'm assuming you don't have leak detection capability right now, or?
No, but what we do is we monitor our wells annually, and because we modified our permit some years ago, we're falling to a different category to where we now have to justify all of our water. And if we have more than a 10% increase in water loss, then we have to address that. And I think this year we were at like 6% loss, which is well below what SwiftMud even asks us to do before we start doing anything. So, but if there's a leak, we know pretty quick. And it's usually running out on the ground or, what have you. And then as we read the meters, if we have leaks there, we check those out as well.
So how many gallons would a 6% loss annually represent?
I think we're running about 1 million gallons a year is what we're pumping. Just off the top of my head. Total. So 6% of that is what, 60,000 gallons?
Yeah,
Minimal.
so it's minimal.
Yeah,
Okay.
and some of that is due to, I don't, like if someone has a leak in their home, I don't charge them back on sewer and stuff, so I don't capture that as my loss. You know what I'm saying? So it probably is less than that if I captured everything that I give to them and that I don't report to them, I would probably even be less than that, than the 6%.
Mr. Howard?
Normally, as the pumps kick on and off, you're going to actually have a little bit of swell and compression on the gaskets and the piping, and you'll have a little bit of leakage from that just naturally. And that might be 3-4% right there.
And the meters are all 25 years old, so they're not running as efficiently as what they, we actually run off of run clocks in the meters, or at the water plant. We run off of times, and we have those calibrated every year, and then we compare those to what we have in our meters, and there's a difference there because the meters are slow. They're not probably operating at full
All right,
speed.
now let me get this straight. You have timers and run clocks. Is that to fill the bladder tank?
Yes,
You're filling the bladder tank on a cyclic basis, not on pressure.
Yes, every time that pump kicks on, there's a clock and it ticks down how much time that pump runs, and then we have those calibrated every year so we know how many gallons per minute it's pumping. So we divide that by how many minutes we use, and that gives us an idea of how much we're running. We don't have the flow. We have a meter on the well, coming out of the bladder tank that goes out, but the flow is so low that it doesn't capture. It doesn't spin it fast enough to be able to capture how much is coming out.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And we would have to put a meter before the bladder tank coming right out of the wells.
An older
So-
meter won't do that at all, will it? No. It's
No.
not. Yeah.
So SwiftMud, they're fine with the run clocks, and as long as we have them calibrated every year, they don't have a problem with it. And we've been doing that for as long as I've owned the system.
It's not broken, don't fix it.
So you complimented us on reading the mission statement, so I'd like to ask you, do you feel that you've fulfilled the mission statement with respect to your company to your customers?
Absolutely. I mean, we meet with the homeowners association every year. We let them know what we're doing. We let them know what we're going to be fixing throughout the year. We do little repairs and for our capital improvements. If we have things we need to, replace, we do that. We stay in constant contact if we have an issue. Like this rate increase, the HOA president already knows about it. Everybody's informed. If we have anything going on, there's that connection between all of us, and we have good communication. We never have a problem.
Good.
I doubt you probably even have anybody that calls in that complains about us at all. But we Jeannie, I think you may have been here a long time ago. When
Yeah,
you
I was
first
just
came
gonna
here.
raise my hand and ask about the size of your development now and growth.
Yeah,
So,
we put about 25 houses is what they put in here in the last couple of years. But we went from a broken down system that was under consent order under the water and the sewer to we have no problems at all. If you go back and look at the reports, and when what was the other administrator's name was here?
Randy Oliver.
Randy Oliver.
Yeah, Randy Oliver. When he was here, he used to always say that I have the best looking, best maintained utility in the
Now,
county.
John, you gotta be careful. We have some other people in the audience here, so.
Marshall's thin skinned, but I'm just being honest.
they have the most.
So-
He had the
But he doesn't run sewer. He just has water.
It's him a lot of.
And-
Really, Marshall, no sewer, huh?
Yeah, but you don't have any sewer plant. Yeah. And he was referring to that. I mean, my sewer plant is, if you go there, everything's groomed, everything's pressure washed. I mean, it looks, everything's beautiful there. But I kind of looked at it as the first guy they're going to write about is me being a past commissioner. So I didn't want to be on the front page of the paper saying, I have all these bad things going on. So I keep everything up to speed. And it's just easier to maintain.
Yeah.
You fix it before it breaks. It's just easier.
Does anybody else have questions for John? Go ahead.
This is to help me. The pass-through adjustment of $3,200 for water, does that number reflect the combined cost for all of your customers?
Yes.
Thanks.
The only thing it does not include is the service availability fees, which we charge the developer on each individual lot that is not connected to the system. So you really can't do
That's
anything
something
about
different.
that. Yeah, it's just different. But it plays in the whole rate making process because that dollar gets figured into my whole rates as a whole. But we don't mess with that.
Anyone else have questions? Pretty sure. No. Okay, thank you, John.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, could we have a motion to accept the rate application for Terrawood? Would like a motion?
So move.
Second?
And second, Janine? Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Excuse me,
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm sorry, you have to ask for, public input after you have a motion and a second. You should have a motion and a second before you have discussion.
Oh, we're out of order. We're out of sequence. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So motion second, public input, discussion,
Okay.
vote.
Sure, thank you.
So now that you did it this way, just ask if anybody wants to talk.
Does anybody in the general public like to say a few words? Including competitor companies? Okay,
Well, they
thank you. So can we close this issue to then Denise? Thank you.
Vote on it.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on it one more time. One more time, Denise? Really?
Well, you should have,
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so carried.
perfect.
Okay, so we are going to move on. I should just follow mine.
So you're looking for a motion on D2.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get over there, Denise, so I can see that here. Okay, so. We're now on, in section D, the clear tab 2. This is D2. Now, it includes the blue sheets of D2 in the front. And that's a supplement. And that is now part of section D2. So those two combined represent the motion that we're going to look at. You should have had copies of this emailed to you and also hard copies of the original. You should all have had time to read this, but I hope that everyone has. This, the subject of this is the Dunellen Hills Water System, the Forest Hills Water System, La Prima Water, Lucky Hills Water System. I think that has alcohol in it, doesn't it? Is there alcohol in that one? Meadow Woods Water, Pinewood Water,
Snow fluoride.
and Springhorn Water, all from the Hash Utilities LLC. This is the 2023 price index and pass-through application. At the bottom, the recommended action, I'll read that. Recommended action is to approve and authorize the chairman to sign final order 2303, approving the 2023 price index and pass-through adjustments of $1,230.80 in total annual revenue for Dunhillen Water System, $2,951 in total annual revenue for Forest Hills Water System, $388.98 in total annual revenue for La Prima Water, $1,599.09 cents in total annual revenue for Lucky Hills Water System, $1,343.57 in total annual revenue in Meadow Wood Water, $1,386.90 in total annual revenue for Pinewood Water, and $1,277.52 in total annual revenue for Springhorn Water. So that's the recommendation for acceptance. I'd like to ask the public to make any comments,
Motion,
criticism.
motion, second, input,
Oh,
motion,
Okay.
second, input, discussion.
can we have a motion to accept this recommendation?
So move.
Can I have a second? Janine seconded it? Okay,
Now
now we're gonna open it for discussion.
Thank you.
Marshall.
Over the years, we've done this. Originally, we started out where we followed the PSC rule. in these monthly meetings, back then, had decided that you guys would review these. You guys reviewed this one in August. I submitted it in January or February. The standard used to be 60 days out. It happened in April. With this new process, and you've asked me several times in the past why it takes so long. This time, I have to give my customers a 20-day notice. I'll mail that out this week. So it's not gonna get on the August bill. So the October bill will go out, and I won't see revenue from this price index until December, the 25th. So literally next year. It's taken a whole year for this process to happen now, instead of 60 days. So yes, we appreciate the 7%. We used to get 1%. It wasn't worth a stamp some years. But this process has become, over the years, it's gotten worse. And I don't know if we go back, I don't know, that's up to you guys to decide, I don't know who decides that. But I love the fact that you guys review it and you guys talk about it, but can it be a review instead of a vote that you can't vote no on? So my question is, can we shorten this process from a year back to 60 days? That's what we'd like. So that's just all I have to say. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, let me just give you a comment, because we are sensitive to your delay, severe delay. And in the past, you'll know in prior meetings, I've always, and you know that I've always promoted, let's expedite this. And we were successful 2 years ago. We were very successful. We got it approved.
It would get left off the agendas. There was always a reason. And I would just say, this process takes a long time.
Yeah, well,
Kept thinking it was
our
gonna
goal,
get shorter, but it's gotten longer instead.
our goal is to get the price index approved from the state, if at all possible, because Randy Oliver did eventually contact the state, and they got to approve it in November. This goes back several years. So our goal is to try to get this approved in January.
Yes.
That's our goal, if we can do that. Now, we're not in control of that whole process. But-
And once you guys approve it, then we submit the application with that, and it takes, with the PSC, it takes effect 60 days later.
Yep.
If there's any discrepancies that the office finds,
Yep.
then we fix those.
Yes.
I had one year, the guy called me and I had the same email that said, I agree with your date change.
Yes.
And that's how it was fixed.
Yes.
But it's simply just a date, 60 days out. I'm not allowed with the PSC to have it take effect before the 1st of April. So every year, my price indexes take effect the 25th of April, which is the April 25th bill for us. And because we've added this extra step of you guys reviewing it and getting that information out there, getting it in front of the board each year, most years it's August or November. This year it's gonna be December.
Well, all I can say is, and I think I represent all of the board members, that we apologize for this delay. We are going to make every effort not to let it happen again. And there were extenuating circumstances which got us into this situation. I think we're all aware of that. So please accept our apology, that we are going to make every effort to not let this happen again.
Well, whatever we do, we'll do whatever we have to. We always follow the board, so awesome. I appreciate you guys being here.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Thanks, Marshall. Thanks,
Thank you.
Marshall. Any other discussion or comments from the board? None at all? Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and put it to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so carried. And now, we're going to go to item D3. Again, that's a blue packet that's in the front of your package. This is for the Indian Springs Utility Price Index and Pass-Through. And put it in the front of your section D3 in the clear tab, so that the packet consists of not only the blue addendum, but also the original paperwork distributed from Cecilia.
I'll have to action because I'm not 3-fold punched, so I can't put it in my notebook.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna trade with you. What's that?
Okay, is
There
that the
you
right
go.
section to give you?
Miss Cheney, if I may?
No.
No.
Miss Cheney, you have your blue packet in the front of your book.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Everybody have the blue
It's up
packet, the additional,
It's up here.
yes, the
There you
additional
go.
it
information.
was too close to him. Okay.
Did you say you're too close to me?
No, it was too close. No. I'll be okay here.
All right,
I'll
now,
have to open.
let me read what this is, recommended action. approve and authorize the chairman to sign Final Order 2304, approving the 2023 price index and pass-through adjustments of $6,357.09 in total revenue for Indian Springs Utility Incorporated wastewater. That's the recommended action. So you should have a chance to review this. This packet was sent to you by email in advance and also a hard copy. Email came in, the addendum came through. I think one of the things you might want to look at in this, we do not have a representative, to my knowledge, in the public, do we? But one thing you might want to look through on this is the rate, the base facility charges. And take a look at these rates.
Is that done this after?
I don't know where you got that one.
Oh, okay, where is that? D.
Okay, let me help you out here. D2, you're on D3. I'm gonna go like this for you, okay?
No,
Just to-
I'm not on D3, that was on D2.
I'm gonna do D3. We're going
Okay,
D3 right now.
okay, great.
Okay. Here. Let's do D2. There you go.
Oh, okay.
This is the whole thing.
Okay,
So now you're all set.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
Where am I, Denise?
We're on
Need
Indian
a motion?
Springs.
Okay. I'd like to ask for a motion on accepting this recommended action.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
Robert, so moved. And second, William?
Second.
Okay, and open it up for discussion from the public. Anyone can comment on this if they wish, even competitors if they want to.
Well, tell us where Indian Springs is, so we can,
Location of Indian Springs. Who can help? Janine?
Crystal River, just behind the Ford dealer on 19.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Oh,
behind
okay.
Crystal River,
now I can,
north,
now I know where you are.
Lake Church,
It's the Ford dealer, right?
behind the Ford dealer. Right off the State Farm Road.
Okay, yeah.
Any other questions or comments? No, then I'm gonna ask for someone to make a motion for acceptance of this recommended action for Indian Springs Utility.
So moved.
And
Oh, wait,
second?
we already have a motion in a second.
Oh, that's right, we do.
Yes.
So, okay,
So now
all
you're
in-
just, yeah.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion so carried. Okay. I have a feeling we're coming to the end of our requirements here. Monthly meetings, this is item D4. And, this is, to approve and authorize the chairman to sign memorandum 2302 Citrus County Water Wastewater Authority monthly meeting dates. So, I'd like to make a note that, now, this is on, go to 4, go to section 4. And then go to 2 pages back, you'll see a memorandum from
Okay,
Mr.
got it.
Howard.
Got it.
Is everybody there? Everybody see the dates?
Yeah, Monday, yeah, August
So-
28th.
What are we doing? Go to D4. There's some dates here. Go, just turn the page. There you go. Those dates here. Okay, everybody there?
I think so.
I have a conflict on October 9th. Unfortunately, I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail that date, so
Oh,
I need
nice.
to
The whole
ask.
thing?
Hmm?
The whole way?
Yeah, the whole thing in 1 week, yeah. The Monday prior, which is the 2nd, I think, is available, but I can't make it on the 9th. But we always have, it's not necessary for me to be there, we always have a vice chairman that could run the meeting, if you so desire. Is it a possibility we could,
We could look at that, and there's also a possibility when we have a meeting, we may not have any business to conduct either at that point, but we can look at that, look at the calendar
Okay.
for you.
the Monday prior to
Yeah.
that week or the Monday after that are fine with me.
Okay.
But don't let that hold you up, I'm not a showstopper. But Denise has to be here, okay? She's the
Right.
only one that keeps me straight.
It's on my calendar.
Do we know the list of dates?
Sure.
Oh,
Let
yeah,
me-
the
can I
agenda.
It's
read-
in the agenda.
Can I
It's
read
in
them
the
off to you?
published agenda.
Published agenda.
I have a copy if you want mine. Here you go.
We can email them to you as well.
Does anyone else have a conflict with any of those suggested dates on the board?
Yeah, I have one on September 11th, but I don't need to be here.
You know what hit me? That's 9/11.
And it's gonna come every year. So we just have to,
go away.
thank God, it never happened.
Do you have a recommendation? Anyone to recommend it? Or should we leave it? Steve, maybe we should ask you, because you have a busy schedule as well.
Yeah, either way. I mean, I'm sure if we can accommodate, we'll accommodate. If not, we'll remember those folks and that tragedy on that day as well. But
Let me ask this, so we will be meeting every month from now on?
I think we were trying to get a tentative schedule. If some reason there's no business conduct, we won't. But I think this is good just for the public to know, and everybody's schedules too. And that's important that we kind of set a calendar to make sure we have ongoing meetings for the public. But there's possibilities. I mean, we may have nothing, but Chuck was involved in the past too. You've got a comment?
We just want to have it monthly till December and then reevaluate and see if, if there's anything left that we need to make it less frequent or more frequent or whatever.
But if you give us, like I say, if you want to give us a little flexibility, staff,
Well,
we can go back and look at any of these conflicts and then just so you can give us more.
Maybe you could just ask to reevaluate September 11th and October 9th.
We can do
Those
that.
two dates.
We can do that.
Anyone else?
well, I'm just curious, are we growing at a steady rate, or are we going up and down in the county with population and new building or anything? I haven't
We're
seen
about the same.
Yeah, I think it's about the
Pretty
same
much
for
the
these. It's just there's a lot of things you have to, some of these, the cycling of some of the business that has to be conducted seems to be during this time period.
I live by 491 and 486, so all the retail is building in now.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, that's probably gonna attract residential because they'll have
Sure.
department stores closer
Yeah.
than,
I think
going to
that's
Ocala
coming,
and
yes.
that kind of thing. So I think we'll see some growth.
I don't think these
Growth.
dates affect, the fact that we're gonna suggest we meet monthly have anything to do with the population growth. I think it's more of an administrative demand. Mike, is that correct?
Yeah,
It's
we
business.
decided or asked Mr. Howard to go monthly, at least until December, because there were so many things backlogged that need to be caught up. So once we reach that point, we can reevaluate the schedule and discuss it with him and see which direction y'all want to go.
You don't have to, I don't want the board to feel they have to reschedule September 11th because of me. I mean, I'm getting some stuff done on my knee, that's,
Well, it's
You
pretty
know,
far out,
yeah.
number one, and there might not even be any topics at that
Right.
point in time either, so
That's all we
Let's-
have
Sure,
to
we'll
really
have-
have.
let's just see if we got some alternatives. That's
Okay, we'll do that, and if everybody,
The other question I have, is October, does the county celebrate Columbus Day anymore, or that's a bank holiday?
I don't think,
October 9th.
yeah, I don't think we do. I haven't been
Okay.
here in October yet, but it's my understanding they don't. That's what I think staff's saying. No. Our President's Day, that's another one that they don't do as well, which I thought they did. Actually, I thought we had that off, and staff said, nope. That's another one they don't have off. But we'll be more than happy to look at that, but as long as this board, we can have meetings up till December, we can go back and look. If there's a way to work within those parameters, we just need this guidance to allow us to set the calendar, and we'll make sure you all know what those dates would be.
Well, I think it's a good idea, because I think it'll help the purveyors get their rate increases earlier and on time, correct?
Yes. That's,
Yeah,
the whole
that's-
effort is to get more efficient internally, and that's part of the reason we're having a correct, trying to increase our efficiency by.
And we will make it more efficient.
Okay.
We could always discuss it later, but the thing is, if the other way would be to just schedule them monthly, and then just if there's no activity, just cancel that meeting.
Well, that's kind of what you did right now, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, so, okay.
Great.
All right, let's, any further discussion? let's close this issue then, there's nothing to vote on.
Okay.
Item E1, this is, well, I guess it all happens to us, but we have some changes in
Excuse me,
our
Chairman.
membership
Chair,
coming up.
sir,
Yes,
I have a question.
Yes.
Just to make it clear, did we made the motion for item D4?
we need a motion for what?
The D4, or are we reevaluating? it?
D4?
Yeah, the meeting dates.
I'll make a
Really?
motion, we accept the dates as set.
I'll second.
Any other discussion regarding accepting those dates? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I can tell you why I hesitated, because there are two dates there that are up in the air, even though we approved it, so that's why I wasn't gonna go through with it, but that's fine. We'll work through it, right?
Yes.
Which
Okay.
one is that? Back here?
All right, I'm gonna move on to E1.
Okay.
I was gonna say too, when we come back for our August 28th meeting, maybe we could always bring it back and modify
Sure.
those dates at that point.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
So now we're.
Okay, yeah, so that's a good point. Mr. Howard indicated that the most important thing is that we are definitely gonna have an August 28th meeting unless there's a notification it's canceled. That's the most important thing. All right, let's go on to E1 now. This is, we have some vacancies coming up. It's unfortunate, but William Bozeman and Robert Baldwin have resigned. Thank you very much for your service, and we really appreciate all your contributions. I mean, that was excellent through the years, and we really appreciate your contributions. We have 3 vacancies because we have some expired terms as well. So I think they've already expired, didn't they? Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and accept applications until September 22nd. And the nominations will be appointed at the October board BOCC meeting.
This
That's-
is informational, no vote needed.
Say that again, please?
This is only for informational, no vote needed. The item
Yes.
for the acceptance of the resignation and the announcement will be on August 22nd.
So you're saying we don't have to vote on accepting the resignation?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So this is an FYI only
Oh.
item. And again, Bill and Robert, thank you very much for your contributions. We've really appreciated it. Item F, update. What are we updating?
I think we've updated everything today. I think we're, I do know from a staff standpoint and the gentleman that made some comments, I know we're dedicated to that at a staff level to get as efficient and as effective as we can. Obviously, I just came on board, really hit the ground running January, and we're kind of like starting this up again, but we're committed to that efficiently, being efficient and effective. Our team will be working close with this board as well as the county attorney. That's our mission too, is to deliver good customer service, and I'm confident that our team in place will do just that.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Howard.
don't think we have all the same pages. I only have an F divider, but I don't have any pages.
It's on
This is
the
like,
beginning of page 3.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
There's
Oh,
nothing
it's
there.
in the front. Oh.
Just a
okay.
placeholder.
It's way back.
Yeah, let me help you out here.
In here.
No,
3?
it's actually,
I have a question.
sure, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure that last time we met, we had 3 vacancies due to expiration of term. Do any of the 2 resignations, are we adding another vacancy because of a resignation, or are those resignations due to vacancies? So my question is, do we have 3 or do we really have 4?
We have 3, sir.
We have
We
3?
have 3.
Okay.
So any other questions on the update, item on update? So item G is upcoming meetings. I think we've already established that as what, August
28th.
28.
28th? Okay. Is there anyone that cannot make, who is still on the board cannot make that meeting? Were you okay with that so far?
Can I just make a quick statement about the meetings and stuff?
Sure, John, you can come in
Can you-
anytime.
In the past, we used to be more informed about when the meetings were, and they would send us the agenda and those sort of things as utility owners. And that hasn't happened in some time. And what I would like to see happen is have all of our utility owners in a blast email or a group email, and then send us a week ahead of time or what have you, when the meetings are, who's gonna be on the agenda, what's gonna happen, because we don't always know, what's happening. So a little more communication from that end would be greatly appreciated, and it's a very simple thing, just to clip it and attach it and send it on to us.
So can I ask Cecilia and Charles to perhaps comment on that?
Actually, that is the plan, sir. That's why we're asking you to approve the meeting dates, so I can post it in Civic Plus, so the
Okay.
public can know it, and I can do the public notice ahead of time, and I can send it to the utilities.
Okay. Mr. Howard?
In the past, we used to send copies of the agenda to the utilities that were on the agenda. But we can include all the utilities, just to be, so everybody's in the loop, if that's your desire.
It might be good to include them all. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not an expensive postage, but it would also encourage them to come to the meetings, which I think is important, because they are a part of this, if you wanna call it, the authority, right?
Yeah, a lot of times, in years past, I didn't even know meetings were happening and that's nobody here's fault, but I didn't even know the meetings were taking place, Not that I had any business on them, but there are times where, if I'm in the area or if there's something that may be to my interest, I may come and watch and see. Especially when you may have some policy changes or things like that may affect us. It doesn't happen very often, but from time to time, you guys do that, so.
Denise, is this something that we should vote on, to send out a notification to all the members, or is that?
I don't, it's not an agenda item, so you can't vote on it, but it sounds like staff is
Yeah.
saying they're gonna do that, so.
Well,
Yeah,
That's
it's-
great.
Okay,
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
all right, we're gonna go ahead.
It's a public record,
Thanks for your
so.
comments,
Yeah.
John. Cecilia or Charles, any other comments on that?
No,
We can
sir.
follow through on that,
Yeah,
all the members?
that's already in the
I have-
process.
I have one thing, Mike.
Yep, go ahead.
I did not resign from this board. I completed my term and decided not to do another one. However, I'm here today, and until such time as you fill the positions, I'm willing to come in.
Good.
So you just need to let me know, and I'll be here.
Can I do that?
Same.
Make sure, the same?
5 years. I said 5 years. I'm joking. I always like to make them sustainable.
We'll do that. We'll do that for you, okay? Thanks for doing that too. All right, so,
Chair,
yes,
one item that y'all, if you're done with your regular business.
Yes.
One item that y'all were, thinking about earlier was, the makeup of the board, and I just wanted to refer you to your bylaws, which determines who will become members. There are 3 technical members and 2 members who are lay members.
Yes.
And there's a preference given to those members who are customers of a regulated utility. So there's no basis within the bylaws to appoint by commissioner district. So just following
so
up,
they're a customer of a utility that's regulated.
Yes.
Pretty, very important.
it just says, preference will be given to.
Do
It
the-
says applicants who are customers of a regulated utility shall be preferred.
Yeah. Do you think that the county commissioners are aware of that request?
Of their bylaws?
Of
The
the
bylaws,
preference of having a rate-paying customers?
the bylaws will be part of the agenda that the board members get.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking Denise, if we could actually take a little bit extra steps and point that out to them, that that's a
I believe that
preference.
the commissioners read all of the agenda items in their backup materials, at least that's been my experience,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
but I'm sure someone will certainly point it out to them.
Okay, okay,
We'll,
thanks.
we'll fully brief them.
Thanks, Denise.
Fully brief, that's a good way to say it.
Okay, is there any other business that someone would like to bring up, new business at this point in time? No? Okay. Then I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second? Janine? Okay.
It's Jeannie.
Jeannie,
That's okay.
is that like on Bewitched, Jeannie? Is that?
Well, if that's what it takes, you can.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so carried. Thanks, everyone, for attending the meeting today.